Hi folks, welcome back to Hanbleceya Ranch. My name is Jason, and along with my wife Jen, we left Chicago in 2021. We came out here to the beautiful state of Maine, where we've been carving out our own off-grid homestead. Now in today's video, we've got something a little bit challenging because a lot of this is going to be made up on the fly. Basically what we want to do is we're going to take the frame of the canopy behind me and we're going to move it into the current chicken run so we can give our chickens a nice covered place as a run for this winter. Now this is not going to be a permanent solution. It is a temporary solution for this winter and this winter alone. And so what we're wanting to do is we're going to move that into the current run so that we can give our chickens a place to come outside during the winter time where they don't have to worry about running in snow and all of that jazz. What's going to make this most challenging is that I need to build a roof on this, or at least some framework. Then we're going to cover it in 6mm plastic. Once I get the current, all of the plastic, all the tarps and the canvas off of this, then I can get in here and really take a look and see what I'm going to have to do so that we can add some additional supports in here to make sure that the snow doesn't collapse this thing in the chicken run. All right, let's get started. This is the first time that this canopy has been off of this frame since we moved here. Now we're going to go ahead and take down all of the wood structures that we had put up here because we're going to be doing something different this time. All right, truth be told, this has taken me quite a while to try to figure out how to make this work. And what I think we're going to do, so we're basically going to put 2 additional rafters here. So 1 here, 1 here, and then 2 in that section, etc., etc. That way, it'll give us enough support. Well, it should give us enough support so that when it snows, it's not going to collapse on us, or collapse on the chickens. That's the big thing. Now, I was concerned about the fact that, you know, the end of this rafter is lower than where this is, but I can't imagine it's going to give us any problems, because this is simply there for support. So the plastic is just going to contour to how the roof is set up, so it should be okay. It's important to note that this is temporary just for this winter. This isn't going to be our permanent solution. So I just want to make that very, very clear. I want to show you guys something. This will be the first view without having the canopy in place, and I want to share it with you guys. So there's the shop and our shed. And this is what our view will look like. Don't mind the mess. That'll all get picked up and cleaned up. But without having that canopy here, it really opens up the space. And it's really nice. We might actually put some chairs here because this is a really nice view of the woods. I really like it. All right, well, before it gets too cold, I'm gonna keep cutting some more rafters. No. Okay, so how I'm doing this is the first thing we're going to do is drill a hole into the pipe using our drill bit. It's going to be kind of difficult to do this with one hand, but I'm going to do my best. Oh, and I broke my bit. I guess I shouldn't be doing this with one hand. The moral to that story is don't do things with one hand that you know you need two. So we're gonna go ahead and pop a hole through here, and I'm gonna do it with two hands. All right, so once I have the hole, which is right there, I'm gonna go ahead and put the screw in. Now the screws that I'm using are basically the same screws you would use for a metal tin roof, but I took the washer off so that I could have more of the screw into the metal. For more stability and strength. So now I got it in there. So the next step is to just screw it into the hole, which is off to the side a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get it started with two hands, and I'll show you. All right, so then after I screw it in, I want the head to sink into the cedar so that when we put the plastic on, it doesn't have, that head out and it could get some damage. So yeah, so that side's done. We're gonna put this side in now. And you'll feel it as it grips into the pipe. And then just set that head into the wood so that there's no sharp edges. So, all right, now let's knock out the rest of them. Okay, so now that we have all of our rafters up, the next step is to ensure that the sides don't blow out. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna install this bracing here, which are basically just strapping 1x3s. And the intent of that will be to help prevent, again, the sides from blowing out, at least on the top. Now on the bottom, we'll do something there here shortly, but for now, we're gonna go ahead and install those. So the dogs are over here doing their things. They hear another dog barking. I think it's my neighbors. That is why we love our dogs. That's why we love having our dogs. All right, so we've got the supports, the roof supports here. I've only added 2 of them for now. I'm not going to add one here or at the end because we've got to see where this is going to sit once we slide it into place. So what I'm working on right now is taking down the netting that was over this section of the run. As a matter of fact, let's go in the run and I'll show you what our plan is. So I've already taken down this section here up to here, which is about 2/3 of the way over the coop. I've got 1 section left right here. So the plan is to slide the new run into place. But before I do that, I'm going to have to take this cable down because I know that this is taller than the roof of the old canopy. The challenge I'm running into is I'm not ready to pull this down yet, but I don't know where the run is going to stop. So I've got to figure all that out here and we'll kind of see where it ends up. So as I said a few minutes ago, these 4x4 posts are simply too tall. It won't accommodate the size of the canopy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the 4x4s to here, and about the same level on that 4x4. That way it'll clear, the canopy will clear the 4x4s. Now I'm not too worried about it for next season because we have bigger plans for the run next year. So I'm okay with cutting these. It's not going to, we're not going to have any issues with that next year. But you'll have to wait until then for that permanent solution here in the run. Next step is to go ahead and reinstall our hooks, our eye hooks, so that we can go ahead and run the cable again. Now the reason we're reinstalling the eye hooks is because we're not ready to take down the netting on the other side of the run. So right now we've got to have these in there so that we still have stability in the netting on the other side. All right, so the cable's in place again. So the rest of the netting is secure. Now we are going to end up taking that down once we start getting snow in the forecast. We'll go ahead and pull that netting down and then shut that part of the run off, and the girls will only have where we're putting the canopy. So at least that's the plan. All right, so now that we've got this back in place, the next step is I've got to get all the girls into their coop because I've got to open up this run. Come on, girl. No. Poor girl. Louise, I'm so sorry, baby. Good girl. Come on. You get her? Yeah, look at you go. All right, this is the moment of truth. Right. Let's see if we can slide this over. Okay, so I think we've got the general position of where we want it. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to stick the sides up on 4x4s, get it up off the ground, because I need something I can attach the plastic to. So the best solution I can come up with is just setting it up on 4x4s, and then once we get the plastic, you'll see what I mean by attaching it. So I think the next step then is just, we'll work on this side, get it on 4x4s, and we'll lift up the other side and get it up. So after looking at it for a few minutes, we realized a couple things. Number one, we're not going to set it on 4x4s. We're going to mount the plastic a different method. I'll wait to tell you that until I actually do it, so I don't have to change this again. But more importantly, I forgot to put the insulation along the ridge, and the reason we're doing that is so that the plastic doesn't get caught and cut on the edge of the new rafter boards I put up there. So I'm gonna get up there, get this stuff on, and then then we can go ahead and slide this thing into position.
So right now Jason's taking the big nails and attaching the frame to the ground so it doesn't go flying away in the wind.
So because of the frame of the canopy, Jen's taking the hinges off the door so that we can move the door on the inside. We'll have to open it in.
Okay. What I'm gonna do is unlock it. Hi. Can I come in?
Hi, come on in.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are pretty much ready for plastic. The last thing we've got to do, and Jen is doing that now, is she is cutting some squares out of the insulation so that we can put them on the ends of the wood here so that it'll help protect the plastic when we throw it on here. So I'm just afraid that this wood is just gonna rip the plastic and cut it. So I think putting that there will give it a little bit of cushion and hopefully help prevent it from cutting it. All right, so this is what it's gonna look like inside. And first off, all of these things worked perfect. Same with the insulation up on the ridge, which will actually be nice because that'll push down some heat. And I think with the plastic, it's going to generate some heat in the sun. So yeah, and right now they've got a little tunnel that they can get out to the run. But yeah, for right now, this is what their winter run is going to look like. And it is temporary. So they all came in here except for Louise, because Louise does not like me. So I think after I get out of here, Louise will come in. But I think she figured out that she can go through there. So hopefully she comes in here pretty soon. So what do you think, Jen?
I like it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really nice.
Plus, it's going to help keep the wind off the girls. Tomorrow, we'll finish this project. Call this project done.
Put the tape where it needs to go.
Yeah, we've got some tape that's got to get up here and other stuff.
The netting on the far end.
Yeah. So, you want to try to get Louise? I'll get out of here. All right, I'm going to get out of here. She's going to try and get Louise in here. Sugar. right, so we are back out here this morning, and what you're seeing right now is one of the reasons we've got to get this project done. The wind's picked up today, so the first thing I've got to do is get this plastic attached to the frame as quick as I possibly can before these winds get any worse. Okay, so we got most of everything done. I added this row here as well to help prevent the plastic from blowing around as much. The last thing I want to do before we call this project done for now is I'm going to grab some of the netting. We're going to wrap it around that post there, or that board. And then that's going to come down. We'll just zip tie it to this fence. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and get that done so we can wrap this up. Chicky. Look at you go, girl. All right, folks, well, that does it. We finally have our canopy up, and it is functional, and it's actually doing exactly what we wanted it to do. It creates a windbreak area, and it's going to provide a roof to protect the run from snow. So we did have to add some additional supports on the sidewalls. What I found is that if there's too much slack plastic, it tends to blow, and then that blowing can actually start ripping at the places where we have this wood holding it in place. So in order to mitigate that, all we did was add more wood, and it really took the blowing down, which is what we were looking for. Adding the insulation here to the tips was a lifesaver. That seems to be working great. Also adding this strip of insulation up on the top to help protect the plastic against the edges of the wood rafters that we put up. That seems to be working great. I mean, overall, it looks good. Now at this gable end, we didn't want this large opening with no protection, So I ran fencing from this wood here down. I think it ends about right here. And then all we did is just attach the plastic with some vice grips and an extra piece of wood. Now this is going to remain open. There's really nothing we can do about that. I don't see a problem with it. I don't see a bird being able or wanting to fly in there, a predator. Now on the other side, this side here, now this is completely open at the moment, but in a week or two, we're going to be taking a tarp, a large tarp, and laying it about 2 feet in from the edge here, and then affixing that to the coop, and then that's going to extend over the coop. So that's is going to serve a couple purposes. Number one, it's going to seal that off. Number two, it's going to help prevent the wind and drafts from getting into the coop through the walls. So, and that's really the big thing. We're not heating this. We don't have the means to heat it. All of our birds are cold hardy, so that's going to tremendously help. Now, as for the rest of the run, which would be this area here, now we do plan on taking all of this netting down and kind of shutting this area off to the chickens. Right now they can get back here through this little gap, so we'll block that off when we're ready to shut the rest of this down. And then over winter, they'll just stay between their coop and the new canopy section here. So now the good thing about this, when we built it, we knew that we were going to have a lot of snow over here. So there's ample, place for the snow to go. So we're not too concerned with that. We'll keep the other side cleaned up as well. The other thing that we want to do is, I mentioned that the tarp is going to extend down to here. It's also going to get wrapped around the backside, because this is where most of the wind is going to be coming from, and we want to make sure we prevent, or at least reduce as much of the wind as we possibly can. Now overall, we're very happy with how this turned out. Again, I've mentioned this a few times. This is a temporary fix just to get us through this winter. If something does happen, we do have a plan B, and that is just to throw tarps over it, and then to just at least get us through the winter. So I think we'll be okay though. We'll just have to wait and see how it goes. All right, well folks, that'll do it for this video. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching it. And if you liked it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you folks on the next video.